to another episode of Dark Skies News and Information, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. And today we're talking about the dam fire. Give you an update, let you know what's going on over there, and much more news. So make yourselves comfortable. You found Dark Skies News and Information. I'm your host, LC Grays, and we're coming live from the studios in Los Angeles, California. From the Bay to LA. What's up, San Jose? Make yourselves comfortable. Be back in a few minutes. Welcome to Dark Skies News and Information Podcast, coming to you live. And light them if you got them. Yes, indeed. It's a new week. You know, everything's, up and running. The dam fire. So we got the update on that. We got news and information going into this week. We got everybody in effect. Everybody here today. We got Mikey, Jim, Jennifer, Becky, got me, got all the listeners, got all our friends around the world joining us. And, of course, you know, you can hit me up on lcgrays@yahoo.com. You can also, chime in. We're on Facebook as well as on Twitter, YouTube. Thanks to all our friends listening to us on iHeartRadio. Yes, indeed. But right now, we are living in strange times, with the coronavirus and the shutdowns and economic strain on our resources. I told y'all that the money that was supposed to be given to us for unemployment, right, the $600 extra on top of what we normally would get, well, that's gone. So many families are struggling more, And us frontline workers, I'm one of them. I'm a frontline worker. We are, also struggling because most of us are making small wages. We're not making the most because nobody's making the most right now, probably Kroger. But at the same time, we try to, survive, these shutdowns because so many jobs are lost, right? How many Americans are sitting home right now? How many world citizens are sitting home right now? No jobs, no money. The economy of the world, the economy of America, the economy of California. No matter how small you shrink it, the economy of LA, it just doesn't get better. We see problems all around us, right? Everywhere we look. And we try to find ways to try to, get by. Make sense. Make money. Pay bills. Now, the government, has tried to take responsibility for this coronavirus, to shut down the businesses, the cause of this economic shutdown, right? Or slowdown, or however you want to call it, because, there's portions of, the economy that is still running. Those that have been seen as essential. So you get essential jobs making money. The essential jobs like the weed shops. The news organizations, the media, right? They, essential, they working, making money. And our government, government employees, all the way down to, the smallest government worker all the way up to, the highest, governors and, all these people who determine if we're going to get another stimulus check. And, the update on the stimulus check, not yet. That's the update on the stimulus package that they are currently negotiating. Is that what they call it? Negotiating? But the stimulus package that they're currently negotiating, no go. As Americans look around and they ask themselves, where, is my income going to come from? How am I going to pay my bills? Because everybody hasn't been, leashed. Your landlord might not be able to come and, throw you out because you can't pay your rent. You still have phone bills, right? You have insurance, insurance on your vehicles, on your home, on yourself, on your family. And then what's going on with the schools? Are the schools are going to open? We don't know. Then at the same time, we got all these fires burning. We got the hurricane approaching Florida. We have so many things happening, right? And it's all happening during a pandemic. So if it's all happening during a pandemic and you ask yourself, okay, well, we shut down. We can't make money. There's no jobs. The economy is shot. And, we're looking at the government and they quarrels. And at the same time, we got this damn fire. And I do get the update, coming up on the damn fire. Some of y'all are here for that. You don't want to know what's going on with the fire. And, I'm not going to make you wait. I'm going to let you know. As far as the recent updates that I was just looking at through my files, it was saying that the fire is 87% contained. That's good, though, And, they're monitoring cooling sections and cooling areas and, doing the construction around the actual fire, the perimeter. Firefighters digging in deep, trying to make sure the fire don't, intensify, for lack of a better word. So this is what we got going on. 220 acres is the size of the damn fire, currently, at this show's time. And it's crazy because, they've been fighting, over the weekend, but the fire is pretty much doubled in size over the weekend. But this is fire season, right? We had a season every year, right? When California seems to just go up in flames. It's like hell on earth. Some of the pictures coming in. And that was last year, the year before, even throughout the years of the drought. I don't know if y'all remember that. And then, we get constant updates, from ABC News. And they, give us crazy pictures and, reporter accounts. Same thing with Fox, NBC. CNN not as much. They don't really take time out from their Trump hating to, cover national stories like, fires in California or bad weather on the East Coast. But it is what it is. That's why we cover this stuff. We talk about it and, we ask for feedback. We get information from people that live in these areas. Arendelle or, Florida, Manhattan. So we monitor these storms, we monitor the earthquakes, we monitor, these natural events, and, we talk about them. But we also, try to keep up with current affairs. Things that are happening right below our nose. Right below our nose. Do you smell it? Well, I tell you one thing, it's crazy when you start to look at all the protests, you look at all the civil unrest, you look at all the poverty. They don't even talk about the homeless no more here in California. I guess they've given up again on trying to help the homeless. And the protesters are being treated like terrorists. Message lost or intentionally, muffled or mixed. Because if they can't beat you, then they'll make you just sound crazy. So nobody will believe you. Like, this fool done lost his mind. Or these people crazy. I always say that you can't let nobody else control the narrative. That's why Dark Skies News and Information exists, because we don't want nobody to control our narrative. The narrative of the people of America, the people of the world. Because we are the people. So nobody controls our narrative, because you see what happens. You get lost. Lost in politics, lost in false imagery, fake stories, lies and deception. But still, there's so much to do. So, I spent a lot of time reading all these stories. Massive amounts of information. Constantly. In my inbox. Mikey, Jennifer, Becky. Stories. Things that, might catch my attention or need to be brought to my attention. Things that we probably need to cover on the show. And, I talk about everything under the sun, from UFO disclosure to sports, gambling, weather, politics, space exploration. All that stuff, Dark Skies News and Information is, a world news information gathering and sharing, podcast. That's why everybody come here, because they want to hear something different from a different perspective, for the perspective of the people. Because most of our information comes from the people. We might do a story, and the same story is being done in, mainstream media. But that's not on purpose. Mainstream media, I believe, copy us. Because I don't even watch mainstream media, so I don't know what they cover until after I find out, one of the team members, oh, look, they covering the story that we just did. Or we did last week or last month. Because we're light years ahead of them. I mean, we cover stuff that happens in real time. They got dictators, in charge. Producers, editors. People that say, oh, no, that's not a good story. People are dying. That's not a good story. People are starving. Leave that alone. People are homeless. I ignore it. No, we don't. Dark Skies News and Information cover all that stuff, and we want everybody to know the truth, what's really going on. You can paint a pretty picture and say, oh, it's beautiful to live here, but then I show you the true pictures. What is it like to be black in America? What is it like to be an American veteran? What is it like to be Latino in America? What is it like to be a Native American? All these questions, dangerous questions. Questions that mainstream media, they don't answer. Like me, I point the finger like, look, the separation of state and religion is not happening right now. Huh? Nobody talking about that. It's not a story, because they don't care if you, have your freedom to worship. They don't care about your freedoms. But separation of church and state says that, the government can't, stop us from, freedom of religion. It's even said freedom of religion. Freedom of religion. But y'all don't have that right now. We don't have that right now. They don't have that right now. The churches, don't sing. We don't want you uplifting your voices, in God's name. Whoever your God may be, don't sing. You're increasing your viral load upon us. May make us sick. God forbid, while you praying, that you might spread, more disease. And we got shows coming up, because, speak to the religious people, the churchgoers, the good people. Because anybody who can, look at the universe and believe in something greater than themselves, I can't knock that. Religious people are very strong in their beliefs. I was looking at the Hajj and, the historic journey to Mecca and how they have to do things different now because of the coronavirus. The Muslims have changed, their historic journey, to Mecca. Same thing with, Christians. Churches are closed. Baptist churches are closed. Presbyterian, Jews are behaving differently. So you look around the world and you see a completely different change. You ask yourself, what's going on? Well, these questions are not easily answered. You have to look deep, So whether it's the dam fire, UFO disclosure, political upheaval, constant protest, systemic racism, all these things that are happening, today in our times. We, find ourselves forced to navigate, these waters, these mystical waters of trials and tribulations set before us. But then they won't even call them trials and tribulations. They'll just say, just troubles. We're living in troubled times. These are trials and tribulations. Black people are very, accustomed to these hard times. And this is more than hard times. When everybody is suffering, it's hard times. When it's just us, it's normal times. I know it's a bad joke, but, I'm a bad joker. I always tell people that I'm a comedian, but I tell tasteless jokes. So you can't be, sitting on your high horse listening to my jokes because you won't hear them properly. But anyway, if you're down here with me, down here on Earth, I'm hilarious. Oh, man. My DJs told me that I need a break. Like, said I need one of those Snickers, a Snicker break. So we'll take a break, hand it over to the DJs. You're listening to Dark Skies News and Information live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. Yes, indeed. I'm your host, LC Grace. Be right back. This is from Drake today. You like no one has ever made you feel. It's part of our relationship's amazing still. I might just put up with the arguing and stay for real. You looking bad, girl, for goodness sakes. You with all those curves and me without no breaks. Ooh, I'm willing to work it out however long it takes you. You feel like you missed those happy days, but girl, that makes two of us. Our timing is wrong. Your friends always tying up every line on your phone. Yeah, but tell them bitches that you'll always be my missus. And the hardest part about the fucking business is minding your own. And every time I try and break it off, we just yell until we're tired, then I break you off. It's useless all this fighting, let's get past it now. Even when I throw them deuces, you just send it back around.
Your wrists and fingers glisten, ice cold like Michigan. Hey, look at what we living in. Here we go with this again. I just keep on talking, but I guess that you ain't listening. Rather run around with them nothing air bitches then. Go on, got me high, smoking like a chimney. We used to be best friends, now it seems we finna be enemies. Deep inside it's killing me, but soon it's gonna be killing you. To see her in that two-seater, no, that's gonna hurt your feelings, boo. Didn't you think you would be over me by now? So you go sleeping with them clowns, they are no relief. She spoke her piece, I know capiche. So love must be let go, release into the wind. Begin again, them deuces, I must throw your piece.
You know what, yo? You a bitch. You should have a travel agent, cause you a trip. You should make your own toilet tissue since you the shit. But all you got is some fucking issues, you fucking bitch. I hate you, but I love your mom. Give her a kiss for me. her second son. Get your mind right, baby, you'll get your... Trying to work it out might be a bad business choice. I'm about my business, boys. Plus I make paper. Come on, that's old news. Yesterday's paper. Oh, you talking? What about? If it ain't how I kept you studied out, your mind's well shut your...
Times to my cousin's house to see if I was there. Get your minds out the gutter, man. We out here trying to have a good time. And here I am all heavy with the words where somebody that's a nerd likely fast forward, but they ask for it. It's hard to throw up the deuces, cause when you know it's juicy, you start to sound like Confucius when making up excuses. Chase cabooses took the track, gone. I gotta find me a new locomotive. Stop making sad songs.
I'm on some new shit. I'm chucking my deuces up to her. I'm moving on to something better, better, better. No more trying to make it work. You make me wanna say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye to her. You make me wanna say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye to her.
Yeah, you're listening to Dark Skies News and Information, live from Los Angeles, California. I'm your host, LC Grace. And it's crazy, man, because we got reports coming in all over. And for y'all that, want to know what's going on with the dam fire, well, the dam fire reported 87% contained, according to online records. And some of the files has been sent in to me. Give a shout out to all the firefighters fighting on the front line, putting these fires out. And we do got fires all over California. I mean, this is just the one that we're reporting on at this moment, but there are fires in other sections burning, and you got firefighters, of course, as usual, putting their lives on the line, to protect property, homes, structures, businesses. And we like to say thank you, to each and every one of them, for what they do. And the dam fire is reported to be about 220 acres in size. It's pretty big. So over the night, I believe it grew some of the areas inaccessible to firefighters was allowed to burn and was fought by aircraft only. Firefighters attacked the fire from the sky due to inaccessibility to ground firefighters. And that's definitely understandable if you know the terrain and the location and how the fire is actually burning and the direction that it's moving. These areas are definitely inaccessible to firefighters and any type of ground assault, any type of, fire. You don't want to put your firefighters in harm's way. And especially, you can't actually get to those areas, due to, like I said, the terrain and, the forest and it's just not possible. And then at the same time, this area is actually burning. It's active. You got the embers, but they do got containment, and they got the cooling sections, making sure that they don't reignite. Because due to heat and embers, and they don't want the winds to pick up, and they could carry these embers a long way. So we got a lot of luck, with the wind and the weather over the last couple of days when it comes to this particular fire. I mean, because the Santa Anas is, definitely like a gauntlet with 6 infinity stones. But it gives you so much, it gives these fires so much more power. When it's getting whipped around by this wind, and it creates these what we call firestorms, and you can see things like fire tornadoes, and and firefighters are often overwhelmed, and fires change directions, and it's pretty it gets pretty crazy out there. I mean, if you talk to a firefighter who had actually been out there during the fire season and, fought these wildfires, they'll tell you, fire burns uphill, it could burn downhill. I mean, when these winds are ripping, or, you get like a valley effect, or, it's just, it's just all kinds of things. And I've even heard that fires get large enough to, create their own, like, atmosphere. And then that, creates its own winds, and that wind fuels it. It's like it fuels itself. So, yeah, you got to get on top of these fires and try to get them under control, because, fire season is very deadly. I mean, we've had some real bad ones over the last couple of years here in California. We're seeing them all over the country. We're seeing them in Colorado, and it's just, a part of, nature, right? But at the same time, when you talk about lives and you talk about, property and businesses and actually what people are going through already with this pandemic, and, it's so much deeper than you can ever imagine when you start to put, all of that together, like in a pot, and just make a soup of our lives. Well, our lives is mixed with coronavirus, lockdowns, economic slowdown, job loss, being stuck with your family. I mean, emotional and depression. It's just, it's a lot to deal with. But then on top of that, you got the fire season, and you got the weather, you got the heat wave, you got lack of resources due to, funds being cut, the government and political spectacles going on when it comes to just trying to get a new package delivered. And I mean a stimulus package, right? Not a package of free food. Because God bless the people that's, doing that and giving out the donation and the free food and all of that. But, people want to get back to work. People want to be able to provide for their families. My son just had a birthday. He just turned 13. He's approaching manhood. Happy birthday, son, Jahari. Now, think about it. He's turning 13 and the world is changing. But the world has always been changing for him. So he's been born into a world of fast change, and, that's all he knows. He doesn't know stability, or that, we can have downtime where the world is not fighting or at each other's throats, or where there are jobs where you can actually make enough money to buy a home and raise a family and, enjoy the school experience and high school sports and college sports, and, you can open a business for yourself and, and live a life. Go travel and see some things. All that stuff's off the table now. It's a new world where you can't go nowhere. You gotta wear a mask. You can't let nobody know, what you're thinking. You can't let nobody know who you voted for. Everybody's so, intensified. You try to drive to work and you might get run off the road by somebody who's not even going to work, but they're driving 3 times as fast. Like, where you going? Then you hear the constant reports of, horrible crashes. You're like, well, if it's shut down, why are we having horrible crashes? You got people driving on the wrong side of the street. You got people, losing consciousness while driving. But then waking up and like, oh, I had a heart attack. I had an aneurysm. I had a pulled hamstring. I had a headache. And, the police like, okay then, fine. And they let you go. I mean, this is so crazy, the stuff that we're seeing today, and I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes, experiencing this. I'm like, you would think that, it's just an awful joke. This is another one of your bad jokes, LC. But no, it's not. It's true. These things are actually happening. They're happening in your community, my community, their community, however you want to put it. Everybody's suffering in some kind of way. Even the people that are not a part of Black Lives Matter don't have nothing to do with it, other races, especially the white race. I'm tired of this. All lives matter. And that's true. All lives do matter. And, and if it was an all lives matter movement, I would be a part of it too. But, I'm a black man. I have 2 black sons, and I want them to be able to live in a world where they not judged upon the color of the skin, but by the attributes that they have, or by the things that they offer, or by the deeds that they commit, you know? You know, because they're good boys. I don't want them to get pulled over and beaten by the cops. I don't want them to, you know, be killed in a gang random shooting. I don't want them to be hunted, you know? I want them to be treated, you know, just like everybody else and have an opportunity to be, you know, American or a human, you know? Oh, that you're a 1/3 man, or you can't vote, or you don't count, or we're going to hang you, or, you know, sit down, boy, or go and be homeless, or go and be stupid, be dumb, you know, be full of disease. All that stuff, you know, yeah, you got to end, you know, in order for the world to move forward. I mean, how you going to try to be an intergalactic force? And that's crazy because you said force, but that's what we're going out there as, right? A force. You know, we're not going out there as, you know, peaceful, kind, gentle explorers who will land on another planet and encounter another species and be kind and empathetic and gentle to it. Like, y'all can't even be that to yourselves. You know, if any species out there, you know, in the galaxy have any type of access to us and they can just observe us and they can see how we treat each other. And they're like, oh, no, hell no, don't let them out, you know, imprison them. Keep them locked down on their planet, don't let their ass go nowhere because this species is dangerous. You know, they treat each other so bad, you know, just because they may look different, but they all the same. You know, because they're the same species, but they look at each other different. Like, oh, you're a brown one, I'm a light one. Or you're one that looks different, or you're a shorter one. Or you from a different part of the earth. You can see how ridiculous and how stupid it sounds, you know, when you think about racism, or you think about the differences that we have that keep us apart and prevent us from moving forward as, you know, just a human race. And that's how I look at us. I look at us as a human race, one race. And I also look at it, you know, as an alien would. You know, we're stupid, you know, for treating each other bad because we're slightly different. You know, can you imagine how different we would be from something that's out there? So how would we treat it? Like, oh my God, it looks different. Or you're from a different part of the solar system. Or you're from a different part of the galaxy. You know, we're from another galaxy. You know, get out of here. We got to kill him. We got to hang him. You know, is that how we're going to treat it? You know, a visitor from somewhere else who's different, who might be a different color. We got to hang him. And we're going to treat him different. So that's how stupid it is, man. You know, humans have got to evolve. We have got to move forward. You know, does it take another rock to hit the earth for us to, you know, wake up and say, God dang, man, we need to come together. We need to get it right. And the coronavirus is not the big rock that's going to hit the earth that's going to make us all come together. It's something else. I would hope that it would just be us awakening up and one day saying, you know what, I love you, and I love you too. And I love you, and I love you. Let's move forward. Let's make sure that our species have an opportunity to exist long past the earth. You know, let's go somewhere else. Let's go see other places. But not as a force, but as a visitor, as a tourist. When you go on tour of the world and you want to go see Paris and, you know, you're from Kentucky, you know, you don't take an army. You don't take a force. You don't take a force to Europe. Take a camera. You know, you want to document the things that you see. You want to experience different things. You want to see Europe. You want to go to Spain. You want to go to Germany. You know, you want to go to France. You know, you want to go to the UK. You want to go to all these beautiful places. You know, go see Rome. You ain't taking a force. You know, so don't go to space with a force because you're going as a tourist. You're going to see other things. Mars don't belong to the first person who land on it. You can stick a flag in Mars, but it's still going to be Mars. It's not going to be the United Federation of Mars. No, it's Mars. All that out there is out there, but it don't belong to none of us. If we go out there, we're visitors. We're explorers. You go out there as a force, then what? You going out there to, take over? As invaders? Because that's what visitors who come with a force or off, another name for that is invaders. Occupiers. We gotta get that violent mentality out of us, like we're the toughest thing out there, because it doesn't matter how tough you think you are, there's things that's out there that is far more advanced and far more tougher, probably feel like they've been tougher for far more longer. You don't want to go out there encouraging like war and battle and conflict. You want to go out there and, search for brother and sisterhood or likeness. And not even likeness in like appearance, but, maybe, you can learn something from, the way of life of another being that has a completely different existence than us. But, that's off on a completely different tangent, But I told you, we're talking about the damn fire and much more. But I'm telling y'all, life gets so much deeper if you can get past the dogma. The same things that hold us back for so many years. Time and time again, wasting time, wasting generations, wasting opportunity to the point where, when we are faced against extinction, well, it'll happen. But if we're all over the place, then, extinction can never happen. And only then do, the human race become omnipotent. We become eternal because we're out there amongst the galaxy. And then hopefully amongst the universe. But those are big thoughts. So I'm going to leave you with those and take a quick break. You listen to Dark Skies News and Information. I'm your host, LC Grace. Man, Mikey, you're killing it today. Some Outcasts? Man. Live from Los Angeles. Dark Skies.
Battle so intense that we get them confused. The Resident Evil specialize in misconstruing. We want to be at a presidential level. What are we doing? Fooling ourselves, clowning ourselves, playing ourselves, but not being ourselves. We can't babble no more than we can bob our head off beat. Ride by the time we 40 because we can't get off meat. While we ask no reason for the misplacement of the season. Look at the picture that's painted. Tainted as the mind is blinded to the point where sodomites get all the rights. We fall for fights with fisticuffs. Get pissed enough to miss the bus. It disgusts me to see my folks run up on. I say stand up on the section of time marked Revelations and recognize his mind-numbing reality of horror known as mankind. Jesus and his 12 disciples make 13, a righteous number of righteous men. Even Judas the betrayer came true in the end. The devil say the end is the beginning. They teach that we were the product of incest. Invest no level of self into this system of pagonomics. Stand with us and don't look back upon this faceless mind state, otherwise Babylon.
Like memories of yesterday,
96 gon' be that. 96 gon' be that hit. 96 gon' be that hit. 96 gon' be that hit.
I bet you never heard of a player with no game. Told the truth to get what I want, but shot it with no shame. Take this music dead serious while others entertain. I see they making they paper, so I guess I can't complain. Or can I? I feel they disrespecting the whole thing. Them hoax like selling dope to black folks, and I choke when the food they serving ain't tasting right. My stomach can't digest it even when I bless it. I'm confessing one more lesson from the south. We in the house tonight. Now who wants to oppose? Suppose we roll through Headland and Delow, where me and my niggas are past the flow and got down for eyes like hind catches. My mind catches flashbacks to the black past, while my close niggas laugh at the southern slang. thing. Figure weights and mojo chicken wings. I grew up on booty shake. We did not know no better things. So go ahead and diss it while real hot pimpers listen. Started by African Bambada. So you and your partner gather your thoughts.
Some things gotta change. Sounds of laughter and happiness turns my teardrops to rain. Been bearing this burden for too many of my days. Looks like breezes of autumn finally blew my way. Like memories of yesterday.
Born and so I'm patting, but my partners they call me Big Boy. It's the nigga the B.I.G. Be speaking the truth, not talking that shit, boy. I'm thinking of checking my traps, I'm busting my raps, I'm throwing them cracks. 7-Eleven is no convenience, you pumping your gas, they're watching your back. For the robbing crew, thinking they robbing you, you must be cautious. She's staying up on your game and pimping these pros, you must be flawless. Like Mortal Kombat, but fucking these wombats got too busy, my nigga. You know if I wanna be playing, but running up on me like you miss me. You catching the wrong vibe, packing your shit and rolling your eyes back. Flexing up on the corner, tossing your dice and rolling your Cadillac. But man, it seems I'm reaching out and touching the wrong nigga. Don't expect it to be pimping, get your index off the trigger as we bust. Us, be leaving them in the dust, so keep that cane up out of your nose. I said my piece and then I hush as the calendar keeps flipping. Niggas dipping.
96 gon' be that hit.
Some things gotta change. Sounds of laughter and happiness turns my teardrops to rain. Been bearing this burden for too many of my days. Looks like breezes of autumn that finally blew my way.
96 gon' be that hit.
Our dearly beloved, we are gathered. Like soap is the lather, we come clean. Some issues need to be addressed like envelopes, I mean. Oh, like Liberty Bells, just them bullets keep on ringing. On fire like the Georgia Mass Choir, we keep on singing. Bringing our folks closer together, cause they severed us from the get green light. And we ain't gonna stop until we hit the big screen. Sight, because no one is free when others are oppressed. So we hit the stage and then we fly back to our nest, growing
Like some
old.
eagles, people don't understand, just like their parents don't be caring. I'm speaking about you playing with that phony stuff you sharing in your rap. Some Sadie Benz and all your riches, thinking you got it, but get it? But you ain't pimping no bitches cause you flaw in. Follow like leads into driveways. Isn't it lovely smoking good and sloppy head on highways? Fridays are tight, but Saturday just makes it old. Winter nights are hot, warm enough to feed your soul, growing old.
Some things gotta change. Sounds of laughter and happiness turns my teardrops to rain. Been bearing this burden for too many of my days. Looks like breezes of autumn that finally blew my way. Like memories of yesterday. Some things gotta change. Sounds of laughter and happiness turns my teardrops to rain. Been bearing this burden for too many of my days. Looks like breezes of autumn that finally blew my way. Like memories of yesterday.
Oh yeah, you listening to Dark Skies News and Information, live from Los Angeles, California. Doing it like we do it. You know, we got the music, got the DJs here, so we take advantage. We also got, you know, our team of reporters. We got information coming in from all around the world, as far away as Australia, as far away as Japan, China, Russia, all over Europe. And what's up, France, Germany. I mean, it's beautiful, you know. Our friends up north, Canada, all our friends down in South America. Yes, it's good. It's good to be connected. I see you there, Hawaii. You know, people be forgetting that Hawaii is a part of the U.S., you know. But we don't, you know. Y'all Americans. And it's cool because we all connect on a grand level and we all connect with like-minded ideas. And a lot of people love this segment of the show where we stop and, you know, we like to remember, you know, what it was like to be alive not too long ago. We want to talk about, you know, things that you miss most about, you know, the way things used to be. And we used to talk about those like, man, I remember when gas prices was, $2 a gallon, $1.95. I remember when the pack of cigarettes was $1.50. I remember when candy was a nickel. I mean, old folks, used to throw me, I remember I used to walk 6, 7, 8 miles to school, and I used to think like, that's outlandish. I mean, I just wouldn't have went to school that day. But, they used to kill me though, I used to have to fight dogs and, stand up to bullies and, it's like, they world was just completely different. It's like I couldn't relate to it. It's like, okay, candies cost much more, gas costs much more, pair of shoes. But no, now, we're living in times now, I can actually relate to, what some of the old heads was talking about when they were, bringing up, how it was back in the day. So, we got this segment, we got back in the day, we talk about, some of the things that we miss, pre-corona, pre-shutdown, and people have been sending their misses, and you can leave your misses in the comments too, things that you miss most about the way things used to be, like one person said, I miss movies, I miss going to the movies, going to the theater and catching the new Marvel movie, catching, a summer blockbuster, it's summertime, we have no blockbusters, there's no movies, so yeah, I feel you on that one right there, and that message was from Virginia. We have another writer says that, and I'm not using our names because, for privacy reasons, I mean, of course you didn't tell me I could use your name. So I'm not going to use it, You send a message to me, so I just share the message and keep your name private. But anyway, this message from Washington was saying that I miss going to restaurants and sitting down and eating and having a drink at the bar, catching a game. Well, I miss that too. Buffalo Wild Wings, like, a place you can go sit down and eat, have your drink. They got the TVs, you can watch you a game here and there, and, and just see what's going on in your community. Other people go there. And we do that a lot here all over California. I mean, we have a lot of places you can dine, have a drink, and, watch the sports on TV. Whether it's basketball, baseball, football. I mean, it's a big thing. And obviously, it's a big thing in Washington and I guess all over. So I feel you on that one. I also got another one from Florida that says, I miss being away from my family. I miss having time to be away from my family. I mean, not to say that I don't love being with my family, but continuously, every day, 24 hours. I mean, my kids used to go to school. I used to go to work. And just that little time alone was just needed. I'm sorry, it took me, I had to wait for the page to load. I has view more. I don't know, Mikey. This is real time, I'm reading, these messages real time. But how they don't finish it all and it has view more. I thought it was going to be a lot. But no, I feel that, spending a lot of time with family is important, but don't nobody want to be locked down with their family where they can't go nowhere, do nothing, and don't get no time away from the kids. Don't get no time away from your spouse, boyfriend, husband, wife. Yeah, I understand that, it's family fatigue. That's what we can call it. It's family fatigue, where you spend so much time around your family that you're done. You don't want to spend not another second. So I can feel that. Now, me, one of the things I miss is summertime. I miss the water parks. You know, the water parks are closed. They said they're not going to open up for this season due to the coronavirus, so we're not going to get no water parks. So I'm a summer baby. You get hot, I like to go to the water parks and enjoy myself. Take the family and have a good time. Well, not this year. Oh, here's one from Texas. I miss not having to wear a mask everywhere I go. I can barely breathe in this thing, and when I speak, no one can understand what I'm saying. All right. I also agree with that one. I mean, when you're talking in these masks, it sounds like, hello, how you doing? I mean, could I get a... And they be like, huh? And some people have gotten really good at talking with these masks on. I mean, it's incredible if you ask me, because I can hear them clearly. But when I respond, it's, I need your phone. And they're like, huh? Like, excuse me? And then I pull the mask down and I say what I got to say. And then I pull it back up. Which completely, defeats the purpose of having a mask. Am I correct? I mean, of course I am. I mean, we are living in the strangest times, I could ever imagine. I mean, what can I say? We are talking more, we're spending time more together, forcibly. I mean, and then they say you're not supposed to anyway, but, I'm talking about the people in the same household. But then we got the community members, we still got people in our neighborhood to hang out. You see them all the time. And they post it on Facebook. I guess that make the government mad, right? Look, they're together. So, I don't know, man. We are, like I said, going through amazing change, in human evolution, in our society, in our way of living, in our government, our economy. And moving forward, a lot of things are going to have to change in order to make it work, or even to make it possible for things to ever start back, or to even be close to what it used to be. I mean, it's a lot of, messages here, and things that people miss. I miss, from young people, I miss school. Who knew? I mean, when they were going to school, when I was going to school, I guess I can understand that. You don't want to go, I don't want to go to school today. But now they've been pulled out of school. They haven't seen their friends, And some kids actually do love their teachers, and they haven't seen their teachers. And this level of education is, not on par with what they were getting before. So I think it's amazing, to see what our children has been forced to go through. Like here's another youngster says that I miss my friends. She's from North Dakota. And yeah, I can understand, you can talk to your friends, on the phone, Snapchat and all these different medias. But it's not the same as, going to the mall together, seeing each other at school, growing up together, experiencing life together, all these things. Because there's not very much experience in this. It's just you're experiencing shutdown, experiencing rules, and, here's one from Georgia. I miss going to church. And, people have not been, allowed to worship. To go to, their place of worship, in these times that, maybe they most need it. When the families are being forced to go through something that's, never been experienced, in my study of human history, I've never seen, the world go through something like this on this level, of this much government control, shutdown and economic ruin. All of this, and if you look at it all as a whole, it's just an incredible, incredible deal. So, we live with what we got. We, have to deal with it. We face it. We fight it. We grow stronger. We move forward. But one thing's for certain, moving forward, we have to do it better. We have to create a better world with better rules and better regulations and better understanding of each other and patience. We have to build a better world than the world that we left behind, because it's gone now. And the only way we're going to be able to survive as a human race is to become a human race, and not black people and white people and Chinese people and Russians. No, we all should just be the same. Brits. Nah, we all should be the same. One race, and our ultimate goal should be survival and improving the human condition and ensuring the human condition continues. So let's move towards being better and the survival of all and the growth of our species. Growth comes from within, and so does strength. So let's show the world what we got. You've been listening to The Dark Skies. News and information coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. What's up, San Jose? We are out. Thanks for joining us.